Welcome in to the Fun Astrology TGI Friday edition. Thomas Miller, thank you for staying with us all week long here. I really appreciate it. Hey, today I said yesterday at the beginning we were going to be short. I'm not kidding today, and the reason is that old Uncle Thomas has crossed the Rubicon. I have been pushing myself the last month, really, to try to get several big projects done so that I could get out of town and go intersect some folks that are, at specific places at specific times. And yesterday, I just crashed. And where that shows up for me is starting to make mistakes. And yesterday, I did the podcast, sent the information to Chet, who does the videos, and then I didn't come back to post the podcast. I was in here trying to noodle with some audio settings on the Book of the Moon, and finally Kristen about 10 o'clock texted me, and then that was when I found out, and my head just hit the floor. So I'm going to take a little time off, and I don't know how long that's going to be. It's just going to be until I get myself back to being a normal human being again. And what's interesting is I was talking to Lynn Schaefer from our Facebook group yesterday, and she said that a lot of people in her world were saying the same thing, and she was feeling the same thing. So maybe a lot of you are as well. Just this, the keywords kind of seem to be overwhelmed, pressing, too much on the plate, etc. I was like, wow, you're hearing that from other people? And she was asking what's in the sky. Well, there's nothing really in the sky except Pluto moving back into Aquarius, but we did that last year, and we didn't have this then. And the big stuff would be, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, but that's a ways out. And the eclipse, that's a ways out. So I blamed it on aliens. I was like, I don't know. So I was just kidding there. I was just being funny. So don't leave a comment in Apple Podcasts that Thomas is a conspiracy theorist. Thomas is just worn out and trying to bring a little levity to the table. But if you're feeling it, I guarantee you're not alone. Quick look in the sky. This morning we had that fire on fire, earth on earth trine between Mars and Jupiter. I think we covered that fairly well yesterday. Tomorrow is a big, long void of course, after the moon's last aspect, which is a square to Uranus. Maybe that's what's doing this. I don't know. That's at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern. Then we have a 17-hour void of course. The moon does not enter Pisces until 10:30 Saturday night. And also Saturday night, this will be at 10 until 10 p.m. Eastern, leaves Sagittarius and enters Capricorn. And then Sunday, 5:47 p.m. Eastern, Venus trines the north node and sextiles the south node. So that's Venus in fire Sagittarius will be squaring up to the north node. That's at 19 degrees. And the north node then will be 4 degrees away from Chiron. I know that's a lot of energy to unpack, but I'm just going to have to leave it at that for right now. Just point you to some of those changes, and then we'll unpack them next week. I did want to readdress this practicum that Robert and I are doing on February 10th, and I realize that this is another thing that I didn't do well, so I apologize. But we are putting together basically a bit of a reconstruction of what Robert did with Kepler College when the practicums were going on, and that's how I met Robert, was through a Horary Practicum. So first, if you have questions, any kind of question that you would like to take to a chart and get Robert Glasscock's spin on it, this is for you. If you are in the Horary course and you have questions about the course, this is for you. If you have no idea what horary astrology is, but you would like more information on something that can help you find your car keys, determine if you should date this guy, will your house sell, and if so, when, would taking this job be to your highest timeline, etc., etc., whatever is on your mind and in your life at this time that you would like to, as Robert says, take to space-time. And that means basically space being infinity, God, source, time being the present moment when you determine the question, and the guidance that comes from the sky above. I've witnessed this myself over and over and over, and even in doing the horary readings that I've been doing, it is just such an amazing system. And when you get an email 3 or 4 or 6 weeks later after you've answered somebody's question, and they say basically it unfolded almost exactly as you described, you just stare up in awe at the sky and wonder, It truly is a miracle. And Robert is absolutely probably one of the best on the planet at this. So that's what we're doing. And I'm sorry that that description doesn't really even translate into the words on the webpage that are describing this. If you're in the Horary course, it's free for you. All you have to do is go to funastrology.com, click on the link at the top, and register. We will then be reaching out to you to get your questions and tell you how to do that. Robert has to prepare charts in advance. And then if you are a non-course participant, you are more than welcome. What we are doing is just for a few days, probably maybe through next week, I'm guessing, we're just accumulating a waiting list. So first come, first serve. Go ahead and click on that link, and there's a box for you to register. And then probably in a week or so, we'll be reaching out to let you know, and then you can pay at that time. If you still want to participate, it'll be $25, and you want to ask a question, or if you want to ask questions about horary, just one-on-one time with Robert, basically. And then we will have a recording, and that recording will be available too. So I'm sorry I didn't get all that probably properly eloquated. And when I get back on my feet, Robert and I are going to record a podcast about this too. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Sorry I kind of pushed myself to the wall here, but I'm going to take care of it. At least we got it in good order, good time. I love you. Have a great weekend. See you back sometime next week. It won't be too long. Take care. Bye-bye.